Hey guys, welcome back to another trading video. I know you guys love to see these. This one's a little bit different. This one is actually trading non-farm payrolls. If you don't know what non-farm payrolls are, I suggest you do your research because it's called the King of Kings in terms of data. Obviously you have data coming out pretty much every single day in the UK, US, Europe and whatever else. For me, who likes to trade economic data when it comes out because these are market movers, non-farm payroll is always a big day and always an exciting day when it's time to trade it because we know we're going to get some massive volatility in seconds on the Dow or gold or whatever it is that you're trading, and you'll see in a second how quick the market moves when you have NFP figures released. So if you're new around here, drop us a like, subscribe if you're new, and let's get into the video. I'm actually going to do a bit of an analysis on the NFP figures beforehand, and then we're going to watch the video itself, okay? Okay, so first things first, NFP, non-farm payrolls. Again, if you don't know what that is, you really shouldn't be trading, to be honest with you, because if you were sitting in a position on Friday, long or short, well, short you'd have been all right, but long position, you'd have been absolutely slapped and not had a clue what had happened. So non-farm payroll is basically the employment figure for the US. Now, what this tells us is how strong the economy is in terms of employment. The more people at work, the more people generating income for the country, the better it is for the economy. Less people at work, less people generating income, the worse it is for the economy. Now, it's usually as straightforward as that, okay? It's usually is a bad figure, you sell it, a good figure, you buy it. Now, for this situation, as I said, it was a little bit more complex. The reason being, there's a lot of talk at the minute going on over in the US with tapering. Now, as you may or may not know, inflation is a big concern over there at the minute in the US. And with the continued money printing that we saw all the way through the pandemic in America, the situation with inflation is getting really, really bad over in the US. And the way that they can stop that is by cutting QE. Now, when you cut QE, quantitative easing, money printing, when you stop that, that means there's less money being pumped into the system. So when you pump less money into it, that's obviously bearish for indices like Wall Street, S&Ps and whatever else, okay? So Jerome Powell at the minute, as you may or may not have seen, has currently been talking about tapering, whether or not it's going to be the back end of this year, start of next or whatever it is. Now, we've got the FOMC on Wednesday, so I'm sure they're going to shed some more light on that situation. But what happened is on Friday with the non-farm payroll is Jerome Powell come out and basically said that all he needs is an average figure, a good figure, to push them towards tapering. Okay, so basically, if it was an average figure, then the tapering would be more than likely on the cards and they would begin that sooner rather than later, which means less money being printed, which is bearish for the economy. Okay, so what we had on Friday with a figure that was expected to come out was somewhere in the range of 500,000. The figure actually come in around about 100 or so thousand. Okay, again, bearish, isn't it? Because it's less and a lot less as well. A lot of people are thinking it was going to be a lot higher. It was actually a big miss. So as you will see, the market comes right off really, really quickly. Okay. Usually in normal world of trading NFP, the market will continue to come off 400 or 500 ticks. Okay. But because we've got the tapering situation going on and people know that if it was going to be an average figure, then the tapering would have been on the cards. But in this case, it was such a bad figure. People start to think, then hold on a minute, if it's a bad figure, then they may not taper quickly. They may delay the tapering process, which again is bullish because they're no longer going to stop printing money. They may continue the process. So what you see here is algorithms straight away, bad figure, wallop the Dow. The Dow comes off 100 and something ticks in about 5 seconds. You'll see it. So after them algorithms have made their move, people then realize, hold on a minute, if this is a bad figure and they're talking about tapering, if it was a good figure, then that may mean that they may continue money printing because the economy is not what it thought it was and the employment figures are worse. So that means that they may have to continue money printing. Does that make sense? If it didn't, I apologize, but I've tried to say this about 15 different times and my video editor is going to lose his head. So I hope you understood that. If not, go and Google it. But yeah, let's actually look at the video and I'll show you exactly what I mean and how quickly this moves. Okay, so we're just waiting for the figure. Another thing, if you haven't got a live squawk, I'd recommend buying one because they're about £300, but you get the news quicker. And you can see here, even though I got the news quicker than most people on Bloomberg and everything else, it still was late. Look at the size of that move by the time that I got the news. Yeah, Massive move down, and I'm quite late, and I'm 20 contracts in at this point. So the Dow starts coming off, and just look at this move on the Dow and how quickly this goes. I'm thinking, I mean, I'm up £1,400, and I think that's about £1,500, and I think that's about 10 seconds into it. Now, this is where it gets a bit shaky, right? It gets a bit nervous. I ain't gonna lie, my arse was flapping a little bit here because it comes right off. You bet in your head you're thinking, well, this should absolutely tank, shouldn't it? But we've come down to a round number here. Now, in my head, I'm thinking, right, everyone's now going to start thinking they're not going to need to taper. And look at the Dow. Dow's straight back up. Look at my finger on the close button. I'm thinking, do I cut this here? Because this could get nasty. And as you can see, I don't, thank God. And I think I end up putting a stop in because I thought this looks a bit dangerous. Look, I'm hanging over the close again. I'm thinking this could actually stop me out here. We start coming down a bit. I'm thinking, no, I can't take £300. I just nearly had 1,500 quid in seconds. And I think just to be on the safe side, I actually put a stop in, if I remember rightly. Yeah, I put a stop in there just at 60 points away, basically just above where it opened. In fact, it was flapping about like this. Honestly, my arsehole was like... and I'm 20 contracts is quite steep as well. I was going to go 30 contracts, but I didn't. But yeah, as you can see, it starts coming back down again. And it's making me sweat even looking at it, to be fair. We start coming down. We're just messing about at a minute. We're just messing about here at the minute. And again, this is sort of made me realise people may think they're not going to need to taper now. And again, look, I think I get to about 1,000 and I was like, you know what, I'm having that. This is stressful watching this. It just didn't want to go down, did it? Pulling back again. Woo! Just pushing down. As you can see, I just cut that because it was stress, to be honest with you. And then we get down to a round number and I thought, you know what, if this carries on going down now, I'm going to be actually off. So we just break below the round number. Bit of a silly thing to do this, really. Because we'd broken the round number, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go for it again, a little bit less, 10 contracts. And then we start pushing down a little bit more. As you can see, it starts going back down. We're just around here. And as you can see, I take my money because that was stress, to be honest with you. So I think in total, what we had was, we just had $1,749.24 in what should have been a 10-second trade. But yeah, logic tells you that should have come right off. But this is why I've stressed to you guys the importance of understanding the news and economic data. Understanding the news and economic data changed everything for me with trading, because sometimes it's not as black and white as that. I can imagine a lot of people held them shorts and they would have got whipped out, because after this it goes straight back to where it opened. Then it opens again at 230, which we all traded. I got short again. I think in total I had about £2,000 on a day. It went straight back down again to around about here on the US Open. And then it went straight back up again, and it just stayed between a 100-point range all day. Quite an anticlimactic day really for NFP, but it was, no one knew what it meant. Do you know what I mean? No one knew, right, bad figure, that should mean bearish, but hold on, that might mean that they won't taper anymore, or they might delay tapering. So that's bullish because they'll continue to put more money into the economy. Does that make sense, right? Again, I hope that helped. As I said, I've tried to explain it 15 different times on this. Obviously the editor's going to lose his head, but I hope they understand that. If you don't understand that, Google it, because I recommend you understand exactly what it means. FOMC is going to be massive on Wednesday, because they're going to give us more of a deadline as to when and where they're going to do tapering, if they're going to do tapering. And it's always a big, big day in terms of trading. So yeah, guys, I hope that helps. Nice trading day, $1,749.24. I actually had a gold position as well. Obviously, this only recorded on screen, but I had a gold position as well. I closed just after that. I bought gold. Gold is always a great trade on NFP. It's probably the cleanest, on more than Wall Street, and you can go quite big on gold as well. But yeah, guys, I hope that helps. Nice trade. NFP, massive economic data that you should all be trading. And for me, as I said, the most important thing is understanding the news and what it means for the markets. and that will give you your edge over trading. All right, listen, I'm gonna love and leave you all. Have a nice day, have a nice week, spread positivity, and I'll catch you all very, very soon. Cheers, guys.